Welcome, everybody, to the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. My name is Nobody Jaymes, and as always, I'm with Nobody John. Nobody John, how have you been this past week?
Been good. Could be better, but I've been
Uh-oh,
good. Oh no, it's not that bad. I don't think anyway.
it's not it's not the cancer. It hasn't caught up to you.
Nope, no grippa or Krebs. Krebs, that's cancer. So
I guess that's German for cancer.
yeah. Grippa is like the flu. It's got the grip on you.
All righty. All right. Well, that was weird. So, what's been going on? I don't have anything too terribly exciting. I granted, uh, I mean, it was last week we got into all the Capitol riots and all that fun stuff.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
not we didn't, but that happened obviously. So that was some exciting stuff. And now Trump has been impeached for a second time, and now he's kind of trying to backpedal so he doesn't go to prison whenever he's out of office and all that fun stuff. So I'm interested to see where that goes. At least that was some,
It'll be long and drawn out. You know what I'm saying?
as it
Un-
always is.
Unlike my unit. Can we say unit on? We can say unit. It's
It's
not
short and
sweet.
colored in. Short. Ugh. I,
Outlined. It's not. Yeah, it's not drawn. It's just outlined.
well, that went a weird way.
I know. I'm sorry. You probably should cut that.
Now it's staying in. It's all staying in, John. So tell me about your week. What have you been up to?
Well, this week I had to go back to my car, the Ford Focus, and I definitely was jelly. So the 2 weeks I got to drive the wife's electric Fiat. I got used to it. I fell in love with it. Now I'm heartbroken. It is. I'm jealous of my wife. I think I need a husband that takes as good of care of her. That I need that. I need that in my life. So James, what's going on? No.
I'm
So
not
like,
Mormon. I can't have more than one spouse.
hell, till death do you part.
Oh, we can
Um,
make that happen, and then I'll have all the money I need to buy you whatever you want, sweet cheeks.
just need electric vehicle, man. No. So the car. I had to go back to the old clunker. And when I got into the car, guess what I needed to get? Gasoline. And I was just like, man, I gotta go to a gas station. I
You're one
haven't
of
had
those.
to do that for 2 weeks. It was
You're
horrible.
one of those. You're one of those people. You are like my wife. She's the kind of person that will legitimately run the car until the light is on, drive it 20 more miles because she's set in the mindset that there's at least 30 miles left in the tank. She'll pull it into the garage, and then there'll be a day where like I have to drive it for something, or I'll take it to get an oil change,
An
or
emergency. You
uh,
got an emergency, you're screwed.
just something. And she's like, "Oh, quick heads up, you're gonna want to get gas." The light's only been on for like the last 4 days.
Yeah,
So
no, it's not that. So I park on a pretty steep incline. So when I got in there. There was, the light came on. Back out of my driveway, start driving down the road. It went away. But when on my return trip home, it didn't need gas. Light came in, and I waited 2 days before I got gas. I only have to drive 5 miles to work and 5 miles back, so it's not that big of a deal. But
it's pretty standard.
yeah, I had to go get gas, and that was bad. So anyway, I've been on the Friends. I've been like, what do I need? I need to get an electric vehicle. So I started looking at stuff, and of course I gotta wait. And CES is going on right now, and some of these car companies are like, look at what we're gonna come out with. You're gonna enjoy it. So remember that we're on cutting edge. And GM, General Motors, they made this big splash, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have this platform. We're producing this platform, the ultimate platform for other car manufacturers." And they had some lady up on there, and I just was like, "Aren't you guys the assholes that tried to kill the electric car back in, the early 2000s?" And they are. I looked it up, and they are. So, can we trust them? I mean,
Of
yeah,
course you can, because it's
sure.
come far enough around that it's like you know, the no buttons. It's the smartphones. It's the foldable phones and stuff. It's the bigger phones. I mean, Apple said that these giant tablet phones aren't going to be worth their weight, you know, and now all of a sudden they're the hot ticket. Now they're
I
getting into
know. I
foldable phones,
just
which I do like the look of those foldable phones. I'm not trying to go off on a tangent. I just think that I don't remember which one it was, but the new Samsung, whatever the case is, I think it looks pretty good.
Galaxy
But that's
Fold.
just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the United States deserves an apology, and probably the state of California. There actually was electric Ford Rangers. I didn't know about that in the late 90s. In fact, there's a guy in Arkansas that has one because some of the charging spaces that we go to, there's like a little community, and there's pictures of him charging up. So he had to change the adapter. He's probably done a battery upgrade, but the GM's EV1, their last version, had a nickel cadmium battery, and it got over 100 miles to a charge. I was like, Mini Cooper only gets 110, and it's been well over 10 years. What's going on with that battery tech? So they did some shady stuff. They bought some battery patents. They silenced the engineer who came up with those patents because they bought like the majority stake into his company. They sold off the rights to some of those patents to some oil companies. So it's a big shady thing. And I just think that GM can we're owed an apology for them trying to stifle the progression down this road. It could have
Right.
happened a lot sooner. We wouldn't even have had Elon Musk. That's a win in
We could have
itself.
we could have just generally done without him.
We could have
But
done without him.
if you wait a month or two, you probably just get that check from Uncle Joe. From what I understand, priority numero uno from the Biden administration is to get us a couple $1,000s per adult. You guys will have a nice little down payment for those electric cars. You'll just
I
set
need help pay
yourselves
off
up,
my wife's car. Actually,
and then you can invest and buy another one, and
that's true.
you'll
There
be
are
sitting
people that need help
good.
though. In an uptick in my town, we've had a lot more panhandlers over the last year. I think there's actually been an increase of that overall. I remember as a kid, I never used to see any panhandling, and as I've become an adult, maybe I'm just more aware, but I've seen a lot more of it, um, which is crazy. But I think people do need help. I still have my job, so I'm fine. You know, I make
You and I both have been very fortunate in this. We haven't been hit. No, let me take that back. We have been very fortunate, but your wife was actually hit in all this too. She had some layoff time that was unpaid, right?
no, it's paid.
All of it? All of her
Yeah,
shutdown? Okay. So I'll put it
made out
back
like a
into effect.
bandit. So her company, I'm not saying that they're good because there were. She told me one time they set up these recycling containers, and so
We're digging deep here.
oh, dude, yeah. She was like, they don't recycle that. They just throw it away with the trash. So everybody that bought items that were recyclable and sorted them into the recycling container as opposed to the regular trash at her company, it didn't make a lick of a difference.
Is that her company or is that her specific establishment? Because you have to pay the extra charge to have the recycling bin there as well. So is it just that one? We can't blame the
You know,
company.
I
You
don't
blame
know.
those specific.
I
I
don't
think you blame
know.
that general manager specifically. This is,
Hey, I'd be
I
down for
mean,
that too. I don't care for
I
her.
mean, we have our. I'll just say this. I'd like to see my company. I'd like to see most companies try to do a little bit more, going a little bit more green. I think that Burger King opened the door for, excuse me, recyclable materials.
Yeah.
You have to pay a little bit more up front, which I haven't seen that actually. I actually just ate Burger King this week. I got some of those chicken fries, but I wasn't even I didn't see it advertised or whatever the case is. So I don't think it's gone global yet.
Yeah, and I know that they revamped some of their packaging anyhow, like a new reface. It looks older. It looks like 1990s kind of like packaging.
Which is fun.
But
But I
that
will
is a
say
thing, single-use plastic. So like when you buy a container of cookies, for example,
right.
I'm gonna pound those out in 1 cup of milk, and then what do I've got? I've got some plastic that's gonna live long or gonna be around, more recognizable than I am my entire life. Stupid.
Well, I just actually went through because especially I mean it's been a couple of years probably, but we have this one cabinet in our laundry room specifically that whenever we do our grocery shopping, we take all of our Walmart bags and we tuck them down in there. And
Hmm.
I literally opened the door and it
Bust out
like
at you.
popped out. So I was like, I'm done with this shit, and I cleaned it all out, and I just I hate to say it, I I I got rid of them because I'm tired of just sitting on them for no reason
Why
at
didn't you
all.
take him to Walmart?
They don't even have those spots set up like they used to, or at least they don't in my area. They used to
Wow.
have those boxes that you could tuck them in because I would have
Hmm.
absolutely done that, but I I purged and got rid of all of my
Well,
grocery bags. But what I'm sitting on is once COVID's over, I think doing that specifically and seeing how much waste I just generated, I think I've talked myself into getting the reusable shopping bags. I think
totes,
I'm
yeah.
actually going to do that. which is something I've always kind of scoffed at. I'm like, how much could we really go through? And after seeing how much we go through,
Could
because
have
we
made
use
a couple
those.
bags out of all that plastic.
Not that this is necessarily recycling, but we do use those as trash liners for all of our small trash cans. So I mean, we have 3 restrooms and my wife's office and my kids and my, so we use 6 to 8 of them a week. Um,
That's
but
still
that's still
reusing.
it's
That's
still reusing to some degree, but it's still
yeah,
just going into a landfill.
yeah. Well, we use them for uh, little trash can liners. Madison actually bought some trash can liners now, but we also use them for kitty litter disposal.
Which makes
So
sense. So at least that's something.
yeah, so when the aliens or the evolved humans in 300-400 years come in and start digging up our trash, they can just be like, man, these humans are messed up. They collected and
Incredibly
hoarded
wasteful.
feline feces. That'll be what's left of us in our society.
That's what it's going to look like too. It's going to be like,
What
why
the
are they
fuck?
preserving this in a
Yeah.
landfill? Like they want to be able to
They
dig this up in a
deserve to
hundred
die
years.
out, They're too stupid to
They did this to
survive.
themselves. So I think we've
Yeah.
proven it time and time again. But
Uh,
well, normally I would transition right into what's been entertaining you. But before we jump into that, I just want to touch on the excitement that has been building for me personally, which is the Green Bay Packers and this playoff game coming up, and where you stand with your Cleveland Browns fan, right?
yeah. Unfortunately, they're going to get stomped by the Chiefs, and I mean, at least we made it. We made it, as far as we could. We tried
At
hard.
least we made it first seed in the
We
AFC.
we rolled over the Steelers as the Browns, so they kind of rolled over themselves.
I need you to
But
stop pretending. This is getting weird. So no, as a Chiefs fan, you've got to be excited to see the top seed go against literally the weakest option that you could have run into.
yeah, I mean, like, and that's good. But the Chiefs have been a little scary for our A team the last 3 games that they played. I think the biggest nervous thing that's got me going is I need them to roll over the Browns so bad because
They
I
will.
want our friend or our mutual acquaintance, whatever. We have a person that we know that is a Steelers diehard,
We can
and
still call him a friend just because he doesn't talk to me anymore and doesn't return my phone calls or text message unless it's
or
in a
pay up
hostile
on his
manner.
bets.
Yeah.
He's so Italian. I mean, that's an Italian thing to do.
This guy bet me $300 on the game, and I'm like, I would take that bet, but I
Do
know
you
you're
remember
not
that
going to pay.
time we went up to see you, Steven, him, and I, and he bet that he could be back in like 9 hours to Green Bay or something, and then he got arrested because he was speeding on his way back to work from Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Should have took that bet, man. He would have been in jail, and you would have been sitting pretty, but you would have never
Yeah.
got paid.
I should just never hesitate when making a bet with him because it's going to pay off to my
Advantage.
advantage for sure. But
So I'm really excited. I am nervous though. I really do need the Chiefs, just for my ego. I just need them to like destroy hit. That would destroy him, and as that's what I want out of all my friends. I want my friends to be utterly destroyed. Okay, I want their morale to be as low as it can because that makes me feel good inside.
well, I'll tell you what. What will destroy my morale is if as in the Green Bay Packers, don't make it to the Super Bowl. To give it just a little bit of backstory, I'm from Missouri. I was raised in a Chiefs fans home, and I didn't care about
So abusive
sports very
home,
much. Exactly. Well,
Chiefs fan. That's how it goes.
yes, but that's beside the point.
They
Um,
lost. Go to your room.
Get me a beer first. So so basically, I wasn't a big football fan until I moved to Green Bay, which is 6 years ago now. And it's infectious. You can't live here and not get absorbed into it. But
That's a
that
cult
not only
mentality.
say that again.
That's a cult mentality thing.
Which I'm fine with. In sports, that's what it's meant for. I'm okay with the cult mentality in a sports world because what it did is it didn't just bubble up the excitement for the Green Bay Packers, but it bubbled up my excitement for the St. Louis Cardinals, which I'm still a huge fan of, which is really hard because the Brewers are in the same division as the Cardinals. At least we're in different divisions, different leagues, and I still root for the Kansas City Chiefs
Because they're
unless
gonna
they
win.
play the
It's fine.
Packers.
It's fine.
Well, you talking Cardinals?
No, Chiefs.
They're going to win what?
The Super Bowl.
You think so? I'm so. This is the thing. I'm literally right down the middle. That I want the Packers to win. I mean, I'm not down the middle on that. I'm 100%. I want the Packers to win. But if the Chiefs make it and the Packers make it, that's the most excited I could ever be in my entire life.
I want you
And
to
if
know,
if
Mahomes
the
has been
Chiefs
looking a
win,
little sloppy. He hasn't been as agile, as moving as he has been in the past. And Aaron, I'm just saying, put a ring on it, Aaron.
this Aaron Rodgers is MVP. So
Unless he
he's
loses. Unless he
he's not.
loses.
No. He's going to be MVP of the season. And I mean, usually the quarterback that wins the Super
Oh
Bowl is
yeah,
MVP, but I'm just saying season wise, he's pretty much all. But he
been
got
playing.
47 out of 100 votes. So unless Mahomes got 48 and the other quarterbacks got like 3, then yeah, Aaron Rodgers has got that
You
rack.
know who's not
Uh,
gonna have that vote?
are you gonna say Roethlisberger?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, but
So I
like I
want to
said,
put it this. You talk about infectiousness, okay? I'm just gonna put this out there.
I
Hitler
have
had his
AIDS.
brown shirts. Trump has his red hats, and Aaron Rodgers has his cheese heads. Okay?
It's true. That's true, and we're gonna take over the world, mother. No, I'm just kidding. I like I said, if the Chiefs win in a Packers Chiefs Super Bowl, I'll be excited. I will be ecstatic if the Packers win. But the thing is, what I was going to say about this is Mahomes, like you said, he's been a little bit safer in the pocket. Like he's not been quite as mobile. He's playing like a guy that wants to be able to play out his 10-year, $500 million contract with the Chiefs. Aaron Rodgers is having his best season of all time because he's playing like a guy that's got a year or two left to play. So it's
Nothing to
literally the
lose.
old guard versus the new guard. He's bringing in the season and he's ready to change, and he understands that. So hey, why not go out with a bang and take a trophy down with him? Take a Lombardi trophy down with him. A Lombardi trophy. I'm just saying,
We'll
Green Bay
take what you
Packers
give
all the
us.
way. Who did the Chiefs lose to in Super Bowl 1?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't remember.
Oh, it was the Green Bay Packers. That's why the
Oh, I
trophy
wasn't
is
alive
named
then.
after our coach.
I
So
wasn't. I
I'm
wasn't.
just saying, it's if it happens again, it's gonna happen the same way. So I just wanted to put that out there. All we have to do is get there. All we have to do is get there, and it's as good as in the bag. And if the Chiefs don't make it, hey, let the Ravens or the Browns through. You put the Bills in there. Actually, the Bills would be a good game, but they're the only team I'd be a little bit nervous about.
Well,
I will say this off the analytics that I looked at right now. The Kansas City Chiefs are considered to be a 47% favorite to make it to the Super Bowl, and the Green Bay Packers are a 42% favorite to make it to the Super Bowl, with your Browns being a 6.8%
it's good to go.
chance to make it. The Ravens actually had a leg up on the Bills, which I thought that was a little bit silly.
Okay.
We'll find out. We'll find out. So, with that being said, unless you have anything else to contribute, I want to transition over into what's been entertaining us. And do you have a long list, or should
I
I
don't.
kick things off?
It's been a short list. I wasted Monday going down to the car dealership so that they could not fix the spots that they left on my wife's car, and they did not fix the heated seat that they had ordered parts for. Apparently, a connector was bad, and I just imagined that they took out the seat a little rough and didn't unplug that connector and then destroyed that connector when they were taking the seat out.
That's probably the case.
So they have to order another part, and I'll have to go down there some other point. But I was down there pretty much the whole day. Um, you know, so whatever. I ended up I was like, I'm gonna be nice to my wife because she let me drive that fantastic car for 2 weeks. So I actually got it detailed today. I had a professional detailer come
Inside
over.
and out.
Yeah, it came over, drove up in his van. She parked it down the driveway apparently instead of in the carport. But yeah, looks good, smells good. Left a
How
little
much did that
courtesy
run
car.
you? Can I
That
ask that?
that that one that ran me $100.
Okay,
Shampooed the carpet and everything.
where did you take it? Was it somewhere
No,
local
no,
or
they
was it?
come to you. That's a
Oh,
great thing.
really?
Yeah, I looked at a bunch of them. There were some that were like for 140. I got the middle package. So his base package is 60, the middle is 100, and then it goes up to $160.
I thought you said 440.
No, 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 no. There is another another detailership, where you take the car to them, and their base price is 140.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
You
I
said
made some
for
rounds.
140. Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
I get it. I was like, holy crap! Like
Yeah. So this one
they leave you a new
he
car and
comment
you drive
he mostly does like classic cars, and stuff like that, but came highly reviewed. He is certified, licensed, and bonded. And so I went with him, and he was very respectful. And Madison liked him, and like after she met him, she didn't get to review his website and stuff like that. But yeah, so she enjoys it. Car looks great, and yeah, that's what I did Monday. So I burned Monday. I did watch a little bit of that 1984.
Hold on. You're talking about the war movie?
No, 1984. It's
Oh, Wonder Woman. I'm
mhm.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I wasn't even.
WW84, I think is what they call it or something.
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. How much did you watch of it?
3/4 of the way through.
Okay, let's jump back into that. Let me run through. I've got a long list of things that I've watched, so I want to ramble off some so you don't just have to sit here and listen to me talk for literally 40 minutes while you sit there with nothing to contribute. But I want to get some of these knocked off my list, and then we're going to kick it back to a conversation that we can both have. Some of these we will be able to contribute in together because I know you participated in some of these. I've got uh,
Forever.
3 games, and I've got 4 movies on my list, but I might not get to all of these
Okay,
items. I do want to do
because it's
one
bedtime.
specific that I want to make sure that I get to is this film that I watched. It's called Promising Young Woman. So uh, I went to the theaters to see this, which I know is a super taboo thing. We shouldn't do whatever, but there's every time I've been to the theaters 3 times during the pandemic, and there's been 2 people in there, and usually it's been me and my wife. This time I went alone, but um, this movie stars Carrie Mulligan. It's directed by, and I did not pull this up, and I don't want you to jump off and start looking it up. I'll get the information. But she's actually
You said The
a
Scent
character,
of a Woman?
no, promising
I
young
I
woman.
know. That's a good movie, by
Uh,
the way. Scent of a Woman.
I don't know. Is that Al Pacino?
Yep.
Okay, I don't think I ever watched it. It is directed by Emerald Fennell, and she's in, I want to say, The Crown or one of those movies that are on Netflix. So it's actually directed by Emerald Fennell. It also stars Bo Burnham. I don't know if you're familiar with his comedy, but he's a stand-up comedian. Um, and it has a couple of other bit parts in it: Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Alison Brie, Adam Brody, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And to put this thing, is this a movie that you think you'll ever see? Do you know anything about it at all?
I don't know anything about it. I know you've talked about it beforehand. It's Promise of a Woman, right?
Promising Young Woman.
Oh gosh.
To give a little bit of backstory on it, it's basically for all of its glitz and glory, it's a revenge thriller. It's a rape revenge thriller, and it's it's kind of promoted as like an '80s glitter punk. Um, I want to say almost horror film because the way that they kind of pass this off is the Carrie Mulligan character, which is she plays. Sorry, I should be better about this. She plays Cassandra, and basically she goes out to bars. She pretends to be drunk so these men will take her home, and then she kind of gives them the opportunity to see how far they'll take it
Uh-huh.
before she exacts her revenge. And the way that the trailer makes it look is that she's murdering these guys, right? And I don't know how down the rabbit hole you want to get. Tell me if you're worried about spoilers, because I'll go full spoilers
I'm
if
not
you're
worried
not.
about spoilers.
Okay, so full spoilers for this movie. I'm just going to go into it. It's fucking awesome. I'm going to say this before I jump into spoilers. It's fucking awesome. It is a Gaga out of our 5-star scheduled review, whatever the case is. I could not have loved this movie more, and I'll tell you why. It is, number one, really, really funny. Number two, it's a genre bending and it's a genre defining film. Because again, it is promoted as kind of a revenge horror movie where I thought she's going to be kind of the antagonist, protagonist kind of situation in the movie, right? She's going to be taking some unsuspecting victim home. She's going to accidentally kill somebody, and that's how it's going to turn back around. That's not at all what it was. This movie switches gears at least 3 times to being it's kind of a thriller. it's a romantic comedy, and then it is straight up, uh, uh, I guess, comedy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Carey Mulligan is again playing Cassandra. What she does is exactly like I said before. She goes and she pretends to be drunk till these guys take her home, and then you're led to believe that she might kill them or whatever the case may be. And in this scenario, she has a journal, and when she opens her journal, she's marking off, and you're like, oh, she killed that guy. And then it actually shows the involvement with another character that doesn't necessarily go as far. So she's like, for instance, she pretends to be passed out, and then he like tries to wake her up before he tries to have sex with her. And then she goes, oh yeah, I'm not drunk, and he freaks out, and she's like, um, well, that gets you a little bit of points, so don't fuck with me. I don't think you should do this kind of stuff. So she just scares him. So theoretically, he won't do it again. Right. So that makes you go, oh, wait, maybe she's not killing these guys. But when she opened her journal, you'll notice some of them are in red, some of them are in just regular ink, black ink or whatever the case is. So and it never extrapolates on that. It doesn't tell you like, well, she's killing some of these guys and she's not on some of these other guys. But my theory is she's killing some of them and she's not, right?
Okay.
Well, she ends up meeting this Bo Burnham character, which is a friend of hers from college, and she starts dating him. And she's been a very closed off person. She still lives at home because you come to find out that her best friend and uh, college mate, etc., which she's known her entire life, was actually raped in college and by in a frat house, and the the fraternity brothers went on to be great, like they went on to be doctors and so on and so on. But this friend that was raped ends up killing herself because she can't live with it, right? Um, so what she's doing is kind of she's taking it on her own to try to stop that kind of mentality and fix these mentally broken characters, right? And that to you might get to the little too touchy feely emotional side, but I'll tell you, this movie gets there and it transitions hard because what you find out is this guy who she finally opens up to. All spoilers. I'm sorry. All
Yeah, he's
spoilers.
one of them.
He's one of the guys that participated in the raping. He wasn't raping her, but he was like watching, laughing, and recording the situation, right?
Yep.
Which the thing is, you figured it out quick by the way I'm talking about it, but you never, the way the movie presents it is it's just a fun, hilarious romantic comedy, and it's really interesting. And he finds out that she's trying to take one of these guys home, even though she's dating him, and then you're like, oh shit, how are they going to come back for this? But he forgives her, and it's all sunshine and roses. But then, go ahead, say what you were going to
I
say.
was gonna
I
say,
saw.
like, I think I would stumble upon it anyhow. I always think of those things like, I bet you that was one of those fucking assholes.
But then the guy that actually raped her, her friend,
Hmm.
comes back to town. Okay, I'm going again, full spoilers. I'm sorry,
Yeah, that's
but I'm
fine.
so
That's fine.
excited about this movie. um, Comes back to town, and so she said he's having a bachelor party because he's getting married, and so she sets up a plan to go proposition this guy. So she poses as a stripper, but before that, she does approach her boyfriend and like, hey, here's this. Fuck you. I need to know where he is. So he tells her. So she goes to this bachelor party and she drugs all the other guys that are there and takes him up, handcuffs him to the bed, and then she informs him of what it is and who she is and what she's going to do to him. And then he breaks free, and there is, I kid you not, like an 8-minute scene of a fight. He breaks one hand free. He throws her down on the bed and covers her face up with a pillow and puts his knee into her face. And he holds it there for, I kid you not, it's like a 6 to 8 minute scene where he suffocates her to death. And this is the climax of the movie. Like, you
Are you
think she's going to break
serious?
free. Yeah, she dies. So basically what the director is trying to get through in all of this, and again, I'm sorry, I just
Go be a
spoiled the movie.
vigilante?
I'm sitting there during this film, I'm just being honest. Like I said, you can see my excitement in this. I was like disgusted. I was like, what am I watching? Like, it was so aggressive and so like sick. It made me, I was like, I was rooting for her to get a revenge, even though I recognized throughout this entire movie she is not the good guy, right? She's doing what she thinks is avenging and her friend, her lost friend that was raped in college. And so I'm kind of rooting for her to get her revenge, but at the same time, she's hurting people. right? And it doesn't say she's hurting people. It doesn't tell you at any point she's killed people, but it's very clear there are different colored marks in this journal, right? So my mind is she's not a good person because even if you're out there raping people, for you to go out and murder people, two wrongs don't make a right. I don't think there's a worse thing, and we don't have to get into this, but I'm just going to say I don't think there's a worse thing you can do to a person than sexually assault them
No,
because it takes all the power away. It runs. It's just it's awful. And if you do that, you're a piece of shit, and I hope you die. But I'm not going to be the one to kill you. Um,
I'll pose this. This might be a little bit to it. What if it happened to your wife?
I would kill somebody
I
for that.
would I would kill
Yeah,
somebody too.
I don't want to get too deep down this rabbit hole, but if it's my family, I will be the one that kills you. And
I've got a shovel, James. I'm just putting that out there.
well, that's exactly what happens, right? So she gets killed, and her stag brother comes in, which I don't know if you've ever watched New Girl.
No.
Okay, well, there's a character by the name of, let me look it up. I feel like I've got to say it. Max Greenfield, who plays Schmidt on New Girl,
Okay.
and he comes in, and he's like, yeah, it's a comedic scene. They play it. It's very lighthearted, and he's like, "Oh shit, you killed her. Okay, well, we got to dispose of this body." So they end up burning. They don't shovel, but they burn her, and she's gone. And I'm not going to spoil the exact. I'm not going to spoil the exact ending because it goes for a little bit from there. There's like 10 more minutes of the movie to kind of redeem it for what it is, because I was like, I felt sick to my stomach when I watched this. I was like, that is such a dire way. And again, I think I said this earlier, but the director specifically, I was reading an interview from her, and one of the things that she was saying is, well, it's I want this to be as realistic as possible in the sense that if he did break free, it's not going to be sunshine and roses for her. She's, a 110-pound girl versus a, 180, 200-pound guy. She's not going to be able to fight her way out of there. And there's no friends or support. No one knows she's there. And if
Yeah.
one of those frat brothers comes in, which they didn't, they're not going to be like, hey, whoa, calm down. Like, she's clearly there to try to kill you, you know? So it's, like I said, it's genre bending. It's very funny. It gets you rooting for her. It gets you rooting for the boyfriend, and then it strips that away from you, and it makes you realize that, hey, this world is disgusting, and then it makes you realize this world is disgusting, and this is exactly the kind of stuff that happens. Um, Regardless, like I said, I'm gaga about this movie. I think everyone should watch it. I think you should watch it. I think you would enjoy it, even though I've spoiled it. It's one of those things somebody told me, and again, spoilers for this movie, but The Village, M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. Someone told me the twist in that, which I assume you've seen the movie,
Oh yeah.
but like the monsters aren't real. It's just a special needs guy that actually gets into the suit. And he told me the ending before I got to see the movie, which I was very excited to see it. So I was pissed that he told me the ending, and I was like, yeah, they can't pull that off. And then I watched it, and I was like, oh, that was actually really cool. So it's still the excitement. That's kind of how I would feel if I was watching this movie and someone had spoiled it for me. Would be like, no, they're not going to go there. And then as you're watching it, you're like, no, this is very lighthearted. This is very fun. Oh my God, he's suffocating her for 6 minutes. I don't mean to laugh even. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Should I allow my wife to watch it? I mean, like allow, like, suggest it to her.
Well,
You
if you
can't watch this, sweetie.
depends if she earns it, John. You have to make sure she makes you dinner for 7 nights of that week. No,
I cook in my house.
I don't know. Based on what I've told you, do you think that's something that she would enjoy? Because I'm in the same boat with you.
Oh,
It's
dude,
like
she loves murder. She eats all that stuff up. She's a 2020 Dateline. Who done it? Are they still away? Crazy kind of. That's her game. Drama and murder. That's her thing. How they get away with it. I don't want to cross her
see,
because she's watched so many of those shows, and who got away and who didn't get away. She knows how to get rid of me.
this
Like,
is the thing I'll say about the movie specifically is that it ends in a way that you don't walk out with that sick feeling in your stomach and that you're not just angry about what you just saw. For instance, I won't transition to another movie. I could name you 10 movies right now, which those Those are my favorite kind of movies that take a dramatic turn and don't leave you where you think you're going to go. I'll just say this, like a Departed or a No Country for Old Men, or even a Saw, to go a little bit more mainstream. Um, I like movies that transition like that and make you go, what did I just see? Did it really just happen? I love that. I love that feeling.
What was
So,
was it No Country for the Old Men with Brad Pitt?
no.
What was that movie?
Josh Brolin, don't click off. You got to use your phone. Josh Brolin is in No Country for Old Men, and
No,
why am
I
I
own No Country for Old Men. I'm just
so good?
confusing the two. This one had like
Inglorious.
the Dutch thing where they had the titanium wire that goes around and like slowly like it takes your head off.
No,
Cameron Diaz had her cooter hooter
oh,
on the
oh,
car.
on the car. Actually, that's the same guy from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah,
The
he's
guy that
in it.
plays
That's why
Anton
I'm like
Chigurh.
I confused the two. No Country for Old
The
Men's a great movie. It's very long though, but it is
Brad
good.
Pitt's not in that movie either. You're talking the guy that plays Magneto.
No,
It,
Brad Pitt's in that movie.
I don't think he is.
What's
Oh
that
no, no,
movie?
no, no, he is. You're right. You're right. He is the client,
Counselor.
the counselor. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
You're right. He's not the main character though. It's the guy that
No,
plays
no, yeah,
Magneto.
he's a sub character that dies, but spoilers.
That movie sucks.
I thought it was good.
I hated it.
Well,
It went nowhere. She
it
had
did
sex
go
with a car
nowhere. It
with.
was a big circle to nowhere. It's kind
Yeah.
of like No Country for Old Men.
Nope. You don't like No Country for Old Men?
I thought it was okay.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
What?
Yep. Absolutely. The
What's
the
that other one
perform
that came out about the same time? I don't know. I'll have to look at the Blu-ray. I'm not clicking off of anything.
Oh, thank you. No, I love the Coen brothers. I'll save No Country for Old Men. I'll rewatch it. I'm watching another movie in the same vein right now, and
There Will Be Blood. I thought that was very long. I like that movie though.
yeah, that's a movie I didn't like. I need to rewatch it because I watched it when it came out and I was younger. I want to say I was probably we were like 20 when that came out.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit more patience for that film.
Yeah, and when I watched it, I expected it to be more in the vein of No Country for Old Men. Another movie is Seven Psychopaths. Those are all. Again, I'm not going to go into them right now. We'll talk about them more in depth later. But these are some of my favorite movies of all time. I love them when they're funny, when they branch out, and you have these expectations of where they're going to go, and you're like, that's not at all what I expected. So that's that. So now, if you want to go into the 3/4 of Wonder Woman 84, I'll let you.
Okay. This film
So
isn't garbage, but it's damn near garbage. So I really don't care about what her upbringing, her selfishness, or cheating, or taking the easy road. Opening scene, didn't need it, don't care, because it has nothing to do with her wanting her dead boyfriend back, making a wish
nothing.
on some Latin demon ghost's like relic. Okay, it has nothing to do with
Not a
taking the
thing.
easy road.
It saved 10 minutes on this overly bloated, long, stupid piece of shit movie.
So I thought that the graphics were poor when they cloaked the jet, flew it around.
Which made no sense. Like, oh,
Unnecessary
I'm
scene for
gonna.
me. We've got to
Yeah,
go
that
find a
could have been.
dude, and now we're taking a detour to go around some fireworks. What the fuck? How much jet fuel do we have?
Yeah, we're gonna go to this fighter jet that is stored at the Smithsonian as a relic for the
Fueled
past
up.
that's fully fueled, and we're gonna fly it to Egypt from America. Like, I'm pretty sure that these things don't go that far.
I don't know. Maybe it had the extra fuel tanks on them.
And full fuel tanks.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't need them.
you know, I don't know. It's stupid.
So I thought, I don't know. The acting is okay. There's lots of plot holes. Um,
The
I
acting for me, since you just mentioned the
Dude,
one,
her beating the shit out of that pervy dude. That's probably the best part.
yeah, the one actor that fails to me is Gal Gadot, which is Wonder Woman.
Hmm
She's not an actress. I'm
I don't
fine with her.
feel it.
Yeah, I'm fine with her fitting into like an ensemble, but as the actress or the actor as Wonder Woman, I don't need it. She's not good. It's terrible. But Kristen Wiig specifically, I was fine with her portrayal. I didn't like her arc and how it went nowhere and how she became a cat for no reason for 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I don't understand like what she gave up to get to be like Wonder Woman. Was it
She gave up she
her
gave up her
humanity?
humanity. She was a good person and then she's not a good person. Hinted at in the fact that she beat the shit out of that rapey alcoholic.
Fuck that dude.
Yeah, and that was fine. She didn't. I don't know.
I was, and then I just
I'll
didn't
let you
understand.
go on.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. So Pedro Pascal, loved him as a crazy lying soothsayer scam artist, right?
Yep.
I enjoyed his like rock bottom start,
His portrayal. Yep, I liked it.
getting what he wanted, and then just spiraling down into a different dark spot. And I think he does a good job. Have you ever watched Prospect?
No, I don't
Add
even
it
know
to
what
your
that is.
list. It's a movie. It's the first time I've actually recognized Pedro in it. Not going to go off on a science tangent about that movie. Watch that movie. We'll talk about it. I'll watch it again. I watched it at the Joplin Bookhouse Cinema, our independent film theater, and I really did enjoy that movie.
Okay, I'm
Um,
adding it to the list. I'll watch it.
had it added to the
Oh, and it's
list.
sci-fi, so you'll love it.
No, yeah, I've already seen it, but I'll watch it again
Or
for sure.
you love it, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the deal. We I just don't know. I don't feel it at all. I don't feel this movie whatsoever. Like I said, I put a stop to it. I watched so much. I was watching some of it with Madison. I was like, I'm gonna go do something else because
Yeah,
this is not
you should
fulfilling
finish
me.
it.
I will. I will sometime.
Finish it just so you can give a full grade. It's terrible. The whole movie's terrible. It was the most one of the most disappointing movies that I've watched. I guess in 2020, which is not a ton of movies, but all of the at home movies I watched, I talked about a movie called Becky. I talked about Palm Springs. I talked about um, Fat Man. You know, all these movies that shouldn't be like big theater blockbusters and that would not have made a big wave. And they were all leaps and bounds better than the dog shit that was Wonder Woman
This high
84.
produced thing.
It was awful.
I'll tell you what though. One scene did excite me. It was a little drawn out too much, but those relic thieves in the mall for that like sub shop. When that dude was like, "I'm not going back," and he like grabbed the kid and put it over the ledge, I was like, "Yeah." I wish he would have dropped it. That kid would have like died or something. It would have been something tragic. But
So that's one of the problems I have with the movie is that it starts out as this coming of age story with the girl doing you know, the Olympic Games or whatever they are.
and that goes straight
then
Superman, Batman.
then it goes into a cartoon of her kicking children into teddy bears and like kicking them. Don't watch this movie.
You
Just
would
take what
die if she kicked you the way she kicked those criminals. I'd have broken ribs. I
throwing
would
people over ledges, lassoing them, swinging around like an idiot. It's a
lasso. Okay, so when
cartoon.
you like crack a
It's
whip, because that's what it is. Don't call it a lasso. It's a freaking whip because she's a slave driver for justice and the
and it's
truth.
mad and it's magic, so it can lasso thunderbolts. And then
It's
she can.
not
Did you get to that
magic.
scene yet? Did you
It's
get to
just
the
impunity.
thunderbolt scene?
Going across the lightning, no.
You
She
need to
can
get
catch
there.
bullets with it.
So bad. It's
I
so
got to
bad.
that. They should have
It's so
also
bad.
ran over those kids in the when they were on that Arab road, wherever they're at, right outside of
That scene
Egypt.
sucks too.
How
That's
did
so
those
so
kids not
dumb.
know that? I mean, like you hear those are APCs. They're not the quietest vehicle unless those are deaf kids or dumb kids. They should know that the road is rumbling, and that's not thunder because it's sunlight outside.
And there's one road, you
Yeah,
know.
one road, and that's the road you're gonna play on.
Yeah,
Where are the parents?
it's so stupid. It's so
Bad
st-
parenting. Bad parenting.
so. Unless you have something to say, something more to say about that, we talked about dodging bullets and with lassos. This movie,
Grabbing
you
bullets with lassos.
so you're
Having
gonna give it.
silver trays block bullets.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And so you're gonna give it maybe a gauche right now
Yeah.
until you finish it and you can polish that off at a
I
later
mean,
date.
I don't even think I'd give it a gauche. It's
It's
definitely
garbage,
right
in my
there
opinion.
around garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the worst movies I've maybe ever seen.
The only thing that's saving it is because I've seen worse movies, and I'm not talking like movies that are like from the 60s and 70s, and that's just how bad they were.
It's
Uh,
it's going on my list with Twilight, and
the City of Bones, whatever that movie was, that was pretty bad too. That
I haven't seen that. I
incestuous
know what
movie.
it is though. Yeah,
I saw that movie with my twin sister, and it made me feel very uncomfortable.
as it would, as
I
it
was
would.
like, what the
Made
fuck?
some feelings bubble up that you didn't know existed.
No, it's just like I told my sister we're gonna go see this movie.
She's like,
Sorry,
"What are you trying to
Christina,
say
I
to me?"
don't mean anything by this. Stupid.
Well, excuse me.
That's the
I choked.
Rona.
My mom literally just texted me that her and her husband have coronavirus. Literally just text me,
Did you tell? Did
and
you
and
tell
my
her?
sister. So
Did you? Well, your sister, I thought she had it already, along with the herps and everything
that's
else.
that. Not appropriate podcast conversation. So this movie is a movie that is in that same vein. I just watched it yesterday. Actually, it's Deadpool 2. Did you watch Deadpool 2?
You'll have to distinguish Deadpool 2 from Deadpool 1 for me. So I
Well,
might
it
not have.
has spoilers. It has the Juggernaut in it, and Cable, and there's time travel, and a little fat kid that
Burn
can
stuff?
burn stuff.
That was No, it wasn't. That wasn't Punisher 2.
I didn't say Punisher. I said
Oh,
Deadpool.
oh, Deadpool. Yes. Okay, we're good. I've seen it. For some reason, when you said Deadpool, I thought of the Punisher. I was like,
You're thinking Punisher Warzone?
maybe I don't know.
Anyway, Deadpool 2, we'll go through it real quick. It released in, I want to say 2016.
Did you
I
just
could
now
be
watch
wrong
that?
about that, but we're just going to fire through it.
The fucking cat. Stop that. Spike. That is not yours to tear up.
It stars Ryan Reynolds. It has Josh Brolin as Cable, among several other prominent figures. And I'm just going to say this movie is, in my opinion, when I first watched it, I would probably put it on the good spectrum. I watched it. I thought it was fun. I wasn't blown away by it. I didn't think it was amazing. But over time, and I think I've seen it for a third time now. It was one of the movies I watched while I was running yesterday. I was on a treadmill. So I've seen it for a third time.
Just gonna have to drop that in there, huh? I was on a treadmill that works, John.
Well, oh, you're still there.
Yeah.
I would say that this is probably a great movie. It's comedically where it needs to be. It's fun when it needs to be. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which I think is a little bit to its detriment. I think sometimes it could build upon some of those um, emotional moments a little bit more and hammer those home so that way it hit. And I think that's the problem. If it hit in both camps, I think it would be a Gaga movie for me. But like I said, it's gone from a little bit from a good, it's gone up to a great for me. I think it's fun. Um, and the action is obviously good but short-lived because the budgets for these movies, the Deadpool and Deadpool 2, are still a little bit smaller.
You
What
know
were you
what's
gonna
the
say?
greatest scene is when they're parasailing, parachuting.
Yep,
They're
Pierce.
parasailing out of that plane.
Hilarious scene.
Yeah,
They could have gone
best.
a little bit further. And again, if they had a little bit of a bigger budget, for instance, there's a Brad Pitt cameo there. He's the invisible guy, whatever the character's name is. Because the interview scene for that is pretty funny. The transparent, whatever his name is. Um, he's in the room and they're talking to nobody, and they're like, "Is he here?" And then they start talking to him. And they're like, I think he actually might be running about 15, or a little bit late. And that's a funny scene. Again, that the jumping scene is kind of the epitome of what I expect. That whole section, because it proves like Domino, played by Zazie Beats.
Hmm.
It proves her luck
Luck.
superpower is really fun and cool. It has the best fight scene in the entire movie between Deadpool and Cable. It has Deadpool riding on a scooter to catch up to this bus that's transferring all these mutants. The best joke in the movie to me is the Black Tom Cassidy jokes, where he's like, "I'm Black Tom Cassidy." He's like, "I'm White Wade Wilson." And then Black Tom gets shot in the face. He's like, "You killed Black Tom, you racist."
Yeah.
So it's a hilarious movie. It's one that, like I said, it kind of gets you amped up whenever you're working out, and it's something that you can kind of groove along to. It's got the music, it's got the action, it's got the fun, and it's something I recommend to people.
1 second.
Oh,
You stop crushing stuff? What the fuck is your problem? I'm trying to
I'm not
record
sure if you
stuff.
stopped the recording, but I guess I'll filibuster right
Yes,
now.
sir.
In
Did you
1931, Columbus sailed the ocean. Blum? I don't think that's true. I don't know much about history, but here we are. Entertain us.
I did not pause recording.
I didn't think so, so I was talking. I said I said 1931 Columbus sailed the ocean. Blum, because I don't know.
All right, sorry about that.
That's all right.
She's freaking
Um,
tearing up my furniture.
kids, you know. What else? What else do you have that's been entertaining you? We've got about
that's
10 minutes left.
that's pretty much it. I was
Uh-oh.
trying to play a little bit more of the Iron Harvest, just going through the campaign. They're kind of going into the backstory of the main character's brother and how he ended up in the position that he is. So kind of jump back in time a little bit. So trying to go down that path to see like how did things get so fucked up. No
Did you beat
spoilers.
that?
I'm not giving any spoilers. So
Did you beat that Lord of the Rings game yet?
no. Do you need me to?
It's only been 6 months, John. Are you ready to give up on it?
No. I'll pick it back up.
You're full of shit.
I'll take some
Okay. I'll
vacation days.
I'll jump onto this then, since you just you talk about Iron Harvest, which you haven't beat. You talk about um,
She's back
I
again.
talk
Give me
about
a second. God
kick her,
damn it.
just kick her. So so John's fighting his cats. I don't know if you guys know this, but he has 35 cats, and he is known for being they call him the Doctor Doolittle of Missouri. So basically, what he does is he takes on animals that he's never had the chance to really know, and then he assimilates them into his home. And it's very much like the Borg in Star Trek. He um, basically implants a piece of himself, and I'll let you kind of go wherever you want to with that, into them. And one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, you've got little John cats running around, little nobody John cats climbing the walls, eating his furniture or whatever they do. I don't know. I hate cats. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm a dog person, and I do have a dog. I'm an anti-pet person, I guess I should say. But if I'm going to be something, it's a dog person. Cats suck. Get rid of them.
Yeah, they do.
And he's back. So since we're talking about games that we've not beat, I'm going to talk about Fallout 4 for just a minute. Have you played Fallout 4?
Yeah.
So did you beat it? Where are you
No.
at? How long ago? 20 years ago?
Forever ago.
So this game came out again. I don't have it, the notes in front of me, but I'm going to say it's in the 2016 time frame. Um, I played through the entirety of Fallout 3. I loved it. Put hundreds of hours into it. When Fallout 4 hit for me, it wasn't something I felt like I needed at that time, so I jumped in, put about 10, 15 hours in, and bounced. I've just recently, literally today, got back into it, and I put about 5 or 6 hours. I love Fallout 4 so far. I've missed that Bethesda magic in the sense that you're just dropped into this world it's like a futuristic 70s. So you have robots, but you've got the cars and the style of the 70s, and then you go into a bunker, and the nuclear fallout happens, and so you come out post-apocalyptic, monsters and bugs and raiders and things like that. You're a huge fan of Fallout 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, but those were turn-based games. So
Right. But it still kept the same
yeah,
aesthetic, right?
same scenario. Same world, so same thing. So
Um, I I've never played Fallout 1 and 2, but I think that they probably appropriately capitalized on that aesthetic and they brought it into a good first-person shooter RPG style.
I
Would
think
you
that the
agree?
transition was well founded because it had aspects of that turn-based, but then got rid of some of the turn-based stuff. You know, like your whole
But
move.
they kept the VAT system, or they added the VAT system to kind
Yeah,
of give you the air of a turn-based RPG, kind of.
well, the turn-based scenario is like when you're in combat, right? You have an
Right, right,
option
right.
that you can take. They get close, that kind of thing, and so you can like let do those signs up, which is pretty cool. Um,
Is it kind of like an XCOM, or is it more
no, it's
like a
top down.
Final Fantasy,
Uh,
or a melding of the two, maybe?
Not even a melding of the two. I don't know how to say it. It would be the combat style and the combat style is definitely more in line with how XCOM works. And then moving around the map is also that same style, but you're not going from scenario to scenario. You're still like, I have so many movement points for this amount of time for me to take these actions and stuff like that.
So I don't have a ton to say about it, although like out of the gate, you come back from your cryo sleep or whatever, and you find your wife has been shot and that your son has been kidnapped or taken. Um, so you're on a mission to potentially, theoretically, find him in the future. It's set in Detroit. Um, so you join up with the Minutemen and or the Brothers of Steel, and you kind of go from there. And I'm already kind of back to where I left off, so maybe I didn't put as much time into it as I thought I did. But I think this is a game I'm going to kind of stick with for a little while because it's
Mm-hmm.
really gripping me right now, which is what I needed. And it's part of the PlayStation Plus, like 15 games that came out with the PlayStation 5, along with Bloodborne, which I also jumped back into and played a little bit of, but I've obviously beaten that game before. But right now, if you like Fallout 3, I'm not selling this to you because this game is older, um, and we have 5 viewers. So if you've played Fallout 3, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's very much the same thing with a little bit of building and a new story, a new setting, similar setting because a nuclear Fallout is always similar, right? Um,
Destitute.
but I'm really enjoying the game. I'm getting into it. It's something that, like I said, I just kind of couldn't pull myself away from, with the exception of I was playing it for about an hour and a half this morning. I didn't want to walk away, and then finally I was like, I need to get my workout in, or this is going to be my whole day. So I went and did my 2 hour workout, and went and got lunch and came back, and then I played it the entire evening, like from 1 until 5. So I'm really, like I said, I'm really enthralled, really invigorated by this. Um, And I was hoping you had jumped into it a little bit, so I'm excited to see that you at least had.
Yeah, the only one that I really haven't delved too much into is Fallout 76.
Yeah, and I have that, but I don't think I'm going to. I don't need to play this kind of game with another person. I think it
Yeah,
would take away from what I am
well,
looking
you
for.
don't, you don't have to. You'll run into people at certain areas.
Yeah, I don't need that.
So,
I don't want other people in my life. This is a game that feels lonely, and it's meant to feel lonely. There's not a
yeah,
lot of survivors left, and if there are survivors, they're enemies
there's super mutants.
or super mutants. And one other game, real quick, I just touched on it, and I think it ended up winning our Kill Your Babies episode with Bloodborne, like I said. And this is the last thing I'll talk about before we run out of time. I have others that I could bring up, but I want to end it in a timely manner. But I put in Bloodborne, and I played through a little bit of Bloodborne yet again. Um, Number one, the game is gaga. There's nothing I can say about Bloodborne that anyone and everyone hasn't already heard. It's a Soulsborne. It's created by the same um, the developers uh, FromSoft that developed the Dark Souls games and the Demon Souls and Sekiro. So brutally difficult, uh, incredibly rewarding. It's the kind of game that you practice and you get better at. And if it's not for you, you bow out quick. If it is for you, you see it through to the end and you feel a sense of accomplishment by beating it. And it's a game that I've beaten before. It's not a game that I'm going to play through and beat again because I'll just flat out say that I invested so much time and energy into that first playthrough whenever I played it, years and years, 5 years ago or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
Um, the first couple of areas are so ingrained in my mind that it's almost like putting on socks. It feels so repetitious that it's not grabbing me this time. But it doesn't. I don't want that to disparage from the quality of the game. I think it's a game I'm gonna have to be away from for a little bit longer to warrant another playthrough. But I love it. It's a blast. It's very rewarding, but it's not something I want to jump right back into right now. But I'm still putting it on a Gaga level. I know that's not a game that you'll ever play. So
Correct.
that's that. I have two more quick things I just want to touch on. This podcast, this episode, will be posting uh, on our coming up Thursday. I've just posted our fast food episode. It was technically episode 17, but it posted as episode 21. So I even say in the episode, this is episode 17 of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast, but it's labeled 21. So there will be some confusion there. It's because it was a pre-recorded episode that we decided to sit on in case we missed an episode, which we did because of complications, and we are going to re-record that complicated episode the next episode that we publish after this one. And then after that, we can discuss what was it, Solitude, the movie that you talked about. Maybe we can do that. But then I'm going to propose that we transition this.
Solitude.
Was
You
that
mean
not what you
Prospect?
Prospect? I'm sorry.
It's like Solitude.
I thought I nailed it. That's a good name for a movie, actually, Solitude. Anyway, I'm sure
I'm
it
sure
exists.
it's, yeah.
So we could discuss Prospect, and we could do another traditional episode. But I'd like to try to jump into uh, kind of a little bit of a transitionary period where we talk about the director series, which I had in mind called Director I Hardly Know Her. And we kind of latch on to a director specifically and watch the entirety of their filmography.
Dude, that could be bad though.
It could be, but it depends on which directors we pick. My my first suggestion, the first prospect, if you might, um, is Danny Boyle.
How many
Do you
shows
know
has
anything?
Danny done?
He's only directed something in the ballpark of like 7 movies, and those movies consist of 28 Days Later, Sunshine, I believe. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Let me look him up. Let me give you the rundown.
Lost it. You lost it.
There's a couple of movies on this list that I'd be like, I don't personally think we need to necessarily. No, I'm not. We're gonna watch them all if we're gonna watch them, um, but they're different enough, and there's some movies in there that I haven't seen that would be fun to talk about. So he's done a total of more than 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So so 14.
Okay, just
But it's
double.
not. It doesn't have to take up the whole episode. It could just be a portion of the episode.
But
But
we
we
have
just
to watch
discussed.
them. That's a lot of hours they got to put in. You know what I'm saying?
It's like 2 hours a week. Come on, come on. So the first one is Shallow Grave, which I've never seen or heard of. Train Spotting, which I have seen before. It's a good movie. We should watch it. A Life Less Ordinary. Never seen it or heard of it. The Beach, which I have seen, but it's been a long, long time. 28 Days Later. Millions, Sunshine, Slumdog Millionaire. Millions is actually like a kids movie, so it might be interesting to put that in there. Alien Love Triangle. Don't know what that is. 127 Hours, which I've seen. It's fantastic. Trance, Steve Jobs, T2 Train Spotting, and then Yesterday. So that's a pretty solid list of movies that we could discuss. I'm
That
just saying.
127 hours, is that the guy that got stuck between the two rocks? Okay.
Have you not seen that?
No.
Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. Some of these movies you're gonna love.
I don't care about like so that movie I think is gonna be bore fest for me.
It's
Like,
not.
oh, he's gonna be cold and he's gonna have to take
I'm
off his
excited.
arm to get out of there. What about the coyotes? You know, I'm just like,
I'm excited.
you know,
I'm excited. I think we should lock into this. If we decide that we do this, I'm locking into the Danny Boyle for episode or series number 1. I'll let you pick a director for series number 2. You could pick a
you don't want
smaller
to do that.
director. You don't want to do like a Martin Scorsese and then we have to watch 47 films. We could do a Quentin Tarantino. We could do a Christopher Nolan.
No Diddy.
There's a lot of options there,
There
but
are a ton of options.
this will do it for this episode of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, and John, with a little bit of that knowledge that I know
I
you
don't
hold.
have any knowledge this week besides be good to your wife and you'll have a good life.
Be good to your wife and allow her to watch Promising Young Woman. Thanks, guys.
Bye.